Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the vlog for the Road to Jungle Ultra, which is now less than 2 weeks away, and I'm actually starting to feel in some ways ready for it, and in other ways not where I would like to be at this point, which we'll look at as we delve deeper into the video. So the reason for this video is how I feel when I watch training videos and vlogs from people who this is their life, or at least the vast majority of their life, and they can put in these sessions day in, day out, and they have the recovery sessions, the videos on how to recover. And I just don't feel I have time for that. In fact, I know I do not, without compromising other areas of my life that are important to me. My family and my work both deserve at least the time that I give them now. Whilst I do believe that running makes me a better parent and a better person at work, I'm more efficient, reliable, determined and motivated and enthusiastic, partly because of the running that I do. It does offer a limitation on how much training I can do and how much recovery I can do. So what I wanted to look at with this video is two things. Number one is just what a normal week of training looks like for me, which was what I thought this whole vlog series would be about, but one thing after the other means that I've not actually gotten to that session yet, and I haven't had a normal week. But the last couple of weeks have been normal training for me. Maybe not quite the volume I was hoping for, and maybe for not as long, but okay. And it's leaving me feeling okay about the Yao Yai race in 2 weeks' time as well. The other thing I wanted to look at is how to fit in as much as possible of quality work and recovery with a short period of time, without it dominating your entire life, to be the most effective runner that you can be without compromising everything else. So let's dive in with looking at how a normal week's training looks like for me and a few of the more recent weeks and sessions as well. So each week of training always starts for me on a Tuesday with Track Tuesday. So this is a session where we go down, it's called the Early Bird session, and we have a good group that meet at 5:30 every morning on a Tuesday. Partly because it's just so hot here any other time of the day until it gets to late evening, and partly because the group mainly consists of parents, so everybody's got to try and get back and get the kids to school. So those sessions are usually the hard sessions of my week, harder and faster. And the last 2 weeks were, 2 weeks ago it was a mile followed by 400 meter repeats, and that was 4 times through. And on that one I started reasonably slow and conservative because still just building up still. The whole set has really been recovery for this whole training block. And this week was a brutal marathon training pace, or half marathon training pace with 4 kilometers, then a 400 meter float, 3 kilometers with a 400 meter float, 2 kilometers, 400 meter float, and a 1 kilometer rep. And that session I felt absolutely great in. I think the first rep, the 4K, was an average pace of 4 minutes 2 seconds per kilometer, 3K at 3 minutes 55, 2K at 3:48-ish, and then the last 1K in 3:29, and actually didn't feel completely destroyed at the end of it. So Tuesday is always a great way to start my week. And it's pretty much a non-negotiable no matter what I'm training for. In this case, a really jungly ultra, but it's the fact to run with friends. It's a highlight of my week. So the next part of my week is 2 runs on either the Wednesday or the Thursday, and those are usually a little bit less structured. When I'm on like top form, which definitely has not been this training block, one of those tends to be a tempo block or a hills workout. Most of this training block has just been getting out to get 2 other runs in. So either Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, try and get out for 2 of those, maybe 10, 12K. This week I got up particularly early on the Thursday morning and wanted to test out headlights. So I went out for a little bit of a trail exploration, headlamp on, vest on, and actually headed up the trail over there, up that hill, for pretty much definitely my first solo nighttime trail. Because Yao Yai is going to be a midnight start, I'm going to have probably a large chunk of that race without many people around. So I wanted to make sure I was comfortable training in the dark. And then the weekend is long run time. Normally I've gone with a Sunday.
So it's 2 weeks until Yao Yai Trail. So today should have been my last big long run, but as in everything with this training plan, it hasn't quite gone to plan already. I picked up a cold at the end of the week and felt rough last night. So gave myself a little extra sleep, woke up to a horrendous thunderstorm and managed to use that as a good excuse. I'm here about 2 hours later than I would have liked to. Minimal motivation, not sure how I feel, but I've just got to go around this loop and see how it feels. And we'll get going. I'm sure once I start moving up the hill, everything will feel good. For once, at least, there is no heat. So let's go, and I will see you on the road. Whoa. So I really hadn't wanted to get out and wasn't sure how I'd feel. And whilst not feeling slow, taking it steady, we're an hour in and enjoying it. It's almost all uphill so far. Whew. And they're pretty steep hills around here. They really are. So it's been lovely just getting up pace, getting up the hill. No worry about pace. But did I just have a run in with a fairly big pack of strong looking angry dogs. That wasn't fun. I made it past them and then saw I'd gone off course on the map. And I thought I'd had to go back past them again. And I was just thinking anything but that. We'll do any other route other than that, because I'm not sure I'll make it back past them again in one piece. Luckily, the turning was after them. So, we're back on course. Getting some good vert in today. The one good thing about having that big thunderstorm early is that now it's nice temperature. It's cool. Well, cool for Phuket. I think we're in like 27 degrees, so it's not so bad. But no sun is making a big difference. It makes a big difference. Right, more up. Let's go.
Tip number one is that consistency is the key. Just remember that if something comes up, work meeting, family emergency, you have to miss a session, that is not going to stop you becoming a good runner. One session does not make a runner. One missed session, even if you don't catch it up, isn't going to make that difference. So even if you end up missing one session every week over the course of months, you will get better just by running more. Sometimes it's easy to get precious about that session, about the plan. I had plan 17, I can only get 12k in. That's okay. It's over time that matters. Second idea here is that don't compare yourself to other people. They don't have your life, they are not you. Even comparing yourself to past times does not matter at all. Very hard not to. We love the idea of feeling better. It's partly why I like to run in different places whenever possible. Then I'm not going, last time round I had this average pace, this time it's this. So as well as not comparing yourself to other people for individual runs, the same goes for training weeks. See, a lot of people say you need to be running 80 or more kilometers per week to run a fast marathon. Well, I know that's not true for me. That may not be true for you, maybe it is. But just because other people say you have to do things a certain way does not mean you need to. Of course, listen to what people say, listen to the held wisdom, and don't just say, well, I can increase my distance, double it next week, that's fine, because that won't work very well in the long run, but you know you better than anybody else. So remember, the idea is big adventures, big dreams, but with a dash of realism thrown in. Don't set yourself up for something that's so big your training load will stop you doing anything else in life, injure you, or take you away from your family and your work more than you actually wanted to. So dream big, but be realistic within that as well. So one thing I joke about when saying to fit things in is to learn to get up really early and love those sunrise runs. And to be fair, it's a fantastic time of the day to be up. There's something to be said for getting up at 5 a.m, getting in a great run and coming back and having breakfast with the kids and getting to work. But that comes at a cost in terms of recovery. So if you are going to love the sunrise runs, which I do recommend, don't actually forget to go to bed at a half decent time as well for that. There is a compromise to be made, of course. I think for a year or two when I started doing the early runs, I just pulled through with less sleep. and that seemed to work for a while. But definitely this training block, with all the other struggles and issues that have gone on, I've been really trying to make sure I get some sleep in and really needing it. So don't skip sleep. And the final thing is that remember, if you're anything like me, you're not an elite athlete. You're only going to win a race if not many people turn up for it. You're out there to have fun, to get better, to become a better person, to see the world and have some good adventures. Not at the expense of family and work. So always reassess that balance. It should be that what you do for your running and your adventures make you a better runner, make you a better father, parent, mother, husband, wife, child, daughter, any role that you play within the family and at work. And I do believe that getting out there, running hard and pushing yourself helps make you better at all of those things. But that being said, it's easy to get carried away. I know I've definitely fallen through that trap a few times. So always try and assess that balance of what you are trying to achieve versus the cost that it takes on you and the family. So I hope you've liked this insight into how my week of training looks and what is a normal training block for me. It was roughly the same. Maybe I had an extra little 5K recovery run in, and my weekly distance was a consistent 80K for about a month before I did UTMB Thailand 55K Ultra last year, which was probably my strongest running point just around that time, and slightly different before the Everesting challenge, where I spent much more time doing the strength and leg workouts at home, and perhaps there was less running before that one, partly because lockdown made running difficult. But that's a reasonably standard week for me and lets me get through the challenges I work at. So let me know in the comments below, what is your average weekly training distance? What works well for you? And have you got any tips for fitting in training around work and family that I have missed, or any that you think of mine that are off the mark and not so useful? Please let me know, and let's keep this conversation going. I'd love to hear from you. So please let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like and to subscribe to the channel. Next week, we're starting preparation for Yao Yai, and then we're going to be off to race. So join me for that. See you next week.